Good morning. This is a tragic Sunday. We're up here at Donaldson Correctional Facility. This is Cookie Garner with the Concerned Citizens of Alabama organization. And I'm coming to you live from Donaldson Correctional Facility here in Birmingham, Alabama. There was a hostage situation where our incarcerated loved ones have had enough. By now, I'm certain that a lot of you all know that one of our incarcerated loved ones had on one of the officers' uniforms inside, and he is tired of being beaten, abused by the deputies and the guards in there. Whoever's watching, please share this on every outlet that you can find, because we need the attention to change our prison system in the state of Alabama. They sniped him a little while ago because he took off his vest and he said, by life or by death, he was going to come out of this prison. He's had enough. They're tired of being abused in there. We're all tired of the system in Alabama. We need prison reform, some real reform. No more of our people having less than 1% parole or pardon by the state of Alabama. Kay Ivy, right now, we're holding you accountable because the National Guard has been up here and is still at Donaldson Correctional Facility. You know, every guard inside of there today was held hostage, not because they wanted to hold them hostage, but because they had no other justice, because they had no other choice. We have loved ones in there, parents, siblings, spouses, children. We waste our blood in there. You know, there's an incident down at Staten today during visitation, at the beginning of visitation, at jump off of visitation, where visitation had to be stopped, and now all prisons in the state of Alabama are on lockdown, on state lockdown. Well, if they're good enough to serve you, Kay Ivy, when you go out to restaurants, they can serve you in restaurants. They can serve you as wait staff. They can drive vans. Our incarcerated loved ones can go out. They can cut the parks, clean the streets. They can go out and drive vans. They can make chemicals. They can make license plates for the state of Alabama and Mississippi. They can make uniforms for the state of Alabama, for our armed forces. Why can they not go home to their loved ones? We have people that are aged and infirmed that cannot go home on pardon and parole, that cannot take care of themselves, that are in infirmaries right now, in correctional facilities all over Alabama. You know, the thing is, they're not being taken care of. They have bed sores all over them. They're not getting medication. We have cancer inmates that are suffering with cancer that cannot get their, they're not getting their chemo or radiation treatment. There's not enough staff. We've been hearing about these 3 prisons, not 1, not 2, but 3 prisons that's supposed to be getting built. And in the meantime, all of the educational fund has been taken away from us. The general fund has been taken away from us. Food stamps is being taken away from mothers that need the money to feed their children. You know, what is this paperwork that they're over there right now talking about? Because we need to know. But they won't come out and talk to the press. They don't want the press here. They didn't call the press and say they had a prison situation going on or a hostage situation going on. We're not even allowed to go across the street in the shade where it's cool at. They won't do us that justice. But what they're doing is having us to sit out here in the sun, in the high grass, and get bitten by bugs and everything over here. And they won't even offer us water. We're lucky if they even called paramedics or anybody to get help. Immediately, they should have had medical attention on standby when the hostage situation first started. Pardon me, because I am worked up today. But when the hostage situation first started, there should have been medical attention on staff, on standby, on premises, right there at the door, waiting to med flight anyone who was injured to the hospital. because that's what they would do for their staff, but not our incarcerated loved ones. So this live may go on for a while, and I appreciate everybody looking and everybody paying attention, and everybody please share this. And I do get it's a Sunday morning, and we all want to praise God. And on my way here, I stopped and asked the pastor at a church to pray for these people that are in there, because they're not above hurting any of them. They're not above killing every one of them that's in there. And then saying they had to bring an end to this. But they won't do it peacefully if I have anything to do with it. We've been trying to contact the news and get the news out here and get media out here. And there should be a helicopter flying over that prison, but it's not. Because there should be media coverage of this morning. Because lives are being lost at Donaldson Correctional Facility more than most prisons in the United States of America. The death rate is higher than the pardon and parole rate right now. That's coming from Cookie Garner, from the Concerned Citizens of Alabama, and the co-host of Tell It Like It Is on the Big KD 94.1 Montgomery. Y'all start calling in on the second and fourth Monday from 12 to 1. Please call in on those radio talk shows, because when we're on there, we don't get enough phone calls. Everybody needs to be outraged. Join the Concerned Citizens of Alabama organization on Facebook. Put this stuff out there. Make sure that it's known publicly. Keep it on the news. Whoever is down there on that rooftop down there at Staten this morning, my heart goes out to you. I haven't forgotten you. Tell us who it is so we can send something out to your family. Help us with this, with these people up here at Donaldson, so that we can reach out to their families. If you have someone that's a loved one at Donaldson Correctional Facility, reach out to me, 899-3777. Reach out to me, Cookie Garner, please, so that we can make sure that your loved one walk out of there, that they're okay today, so that we can check on them, so that we can ask them and make sure that your loved one is okay. Because this is a serious situation. You know, our First Amendment and certain of our amendments are the ones that we remember the most. The right to bear arms and the freedom of speech. But what about the freedom of life? People don't ask to come into this world. We're born into this world. And murder is against our Bible. Thou shalt not kill is one of God's laws. And they're killing ours every day in these prisons. And it's justified as justice. Executions are justified as justice. Even when the family of the victim says, I don't want to see this person executed. Then the state and the governor said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And most of these people can't read or write. They cannot understand what's happening to them. When a person in the 9th grade can't read a 4th grade reading level, how can they agree to sign a plea agreement? How can they go into court and say that their attorney represented them to the best of their knowledge when they can't understand what's happening to them? Less than 1%. For every 100 people that's going into pardon and parole right now, only 1, maybe 10 people are getting paroled. We got to do something about this. Change who we voted for, who we're putting in office. Let's change what's happening. This is Donaldson Correctional Facility. We don't see traffic coming through here. People die out here every day, at least twice in a month, 30 times in a month. I hear death from Donaldson Correctional Facility. Where they gonna run to? Where they going? How the drugs get in? How the phones get in? How are all these overdoses at Donaldson happening up here at Donaldson Correctional Facility? You got to drive at least another 5-10 minutes down the road that way to get to the prison. Come on, be for real now. We need loved ones. We need parents. We need committed people. This situation is real. Stay on the air with me. If I quit talking, stay on the air with me. Watch what's happening around you. That's probably the third, maybe fourth car that I've seen since we've been standing here. They can't hop in the car and run with nowhere with nobody. What they gonna do? Stop a moving car and carjack them? They get hit first. Then they laying out here in the street and the car keep going. Change, Alabama. Are we forever gonna be known as the dirty South? I'm Washington born and bred. But Alabama has been my home since I was 14 years old. I apologize if I'm not one of these, what they say, sweet, soft-spoken Southern girls. I'm not that. I'm mouthy, and I demand respect. We have to hold Alabama accountable. If you didn't give life to this person, you have no right to take their life. Because this man that was shot in there today left a mother. He left a child when they shot him. We're waiting to find out if he's dead or alive. He left several videos on Facebook. Please don't let him be out there not knowing what happened to him in vain. Please make him known. Say his name. We're losing too many people. Say his name. Nathaniel Woods. Say their names. Continue to remind them of all the wrongdoings that are going on in these prisons. Willie David Lee in a wheelchair with no legs at all and no use of his arms. A 71-year-old Miss Leola with renal cancer that they couldn't let go home. Who is she gonna hurt? Nobody. She's in a wheelchair with renal cancer. Their families are begging for them to come home. They're not asking the state to take care of them and make them wards of the state. They don't have to be a ward of the state when they have families to take care of them. The state wants them to be wards of the state. And these so-called wards of the state, I, Cookie Garner, have two incarcerated loved ones. 2 sons that are incarcerated here. One that went to prison at 17 for a crime he didn't commit. And the state of Alabama acknowledges that he was innocent of the crime. Went to prison at 17 years old. Coerced into a plea agreement. They have the shooter. They have the driver. But Stephen Palmer did not commit the crime. In the state of Alabama, every time he come up for pardon and parole, say, while you did not have an active part in this crime, but we will continue to hold you. But I pay for his clothes, his shoes, his food. But they say he's a ward of the state. The families pay for what they have. And they won't let them come home. They don't want the families to stop paying money. They don't want them to stop making clothes or license plates or the chemicals that we use to clean our homes with or the furniture that we use in our homes. The officer is talking to the press now. But they can't shine over what the inside done already told us and what we already know. Because we know the truth. And they can't cover it up anymore. I guess they're going to open the gate up and start letting people back in now. This is Cookie Garner. When I know something more, I'll let you all know. Thank you for joining me, and have a blessed day. I can't see how to end this because I can't see my